Hi, and welcome to the show. Now, does it matter what age you are when you start a family? And are older parents better or worse at bringing up children than young mums and dads? The oldest recorded new mother is an Italian woman who, with the aid of medical science, gave birth at 62, an age which is common among second-time dads like Les Dawson or film star Jack Nicholson. But latest figures show that more and more women are putting off childbirth until they're 30 or even 40. So, should parents be young or old? First meet Maria, who was pregnant at 16, is now thrilled to be a mother of 4-year-old Samantha and 18-month-old Julie. Vicky, who after a successful career became a mother to William for the first time at 41 and has recently given birth to her second son, Edward, at the grand age of 48. But that is nothing compared to Jimmy, who has just 5 months ago become a dad again at, believe it or not, the incredible age of 78. Please welcome them. Well, today, as well as being joined by adult guests, we've also got a studio full of young ones, haven't we? Hi. Now, Jimmy, tell me, what was your reaction when you were first told you were going to be a father again at 78?
Well, quite honestly, I was really shocked. And the first thing I said to Jan was, ooh. The first thing I said to Jan was...
Should we give baby to Mummy?
Yeah,
okay. Oh, Dobby's falling out. Okay. So first thing you said to... Yeah, let's go. Okay, so first thing you said...
The first thing I said to Jan was, bloody Nora, and sat on the seat.
I take it it wasn't planned, therefore, if you said...
No, it wasn't planned. It was a shock both to her and I.
So how do you feel being a dad again?
Oh, it's getting used to it, but I'm just slowly got used to it.
Right.
But quite happy.
You're actually a great-grandfather, aren't you?
Yes.
What's your family and friends think about the fact that you're a father again at this late age?
Well, everybody said the wedding wouldn't last, but now they're quite the opposite. They're all pleased about it.
And what about neighbours? Did they have any snide comments, or are they all positive?
I had a few, obviously you would do, you know, a young girl and an older man you would have, but even they've got used to it now.
Well, you had a family before. Do you think that you're a better father this time around?
Not really. You seem to take more interest in the second one. Simply reason is because you're diving into something you've forgotten all about.
Oh, really? You'd forgotten it was so long ago?
Yes.
So are you a good father? Do you give the baby baths? Do you feed him? Do you change nappies?
No, that's one thing I won't do, change nappies.
Why?
Nobody changed mine.
In fact, we're going to show some VT of you at home with your baby.
Peter. And then after a time, say after that, a month or so, you get so used to it, you say, I know he wants so-and-so, and he wants so-and-so. And you always want something, you do, don't you?
So, Vicky, let me speak to you. You actually made a concerted effort to have children later on in life. Why was that?
Well, I didn't actually think about having children at all for a while because I was too busy with a career. I had what some people would call a high-powered career. I worked in the White House with President Nixon, the Watergate administration, and then I escaped to the UK, started my own firm. And you know, I like wrestling with challenges.
It seems like
I thought that there would be. I didn't even think about having children at all. And the other thing that's important is that in my generation, which is many years ago, we didn't really even think about having children outside of marriage. So I hadn't met Mr. Right. So there really wasn't anything to decide. There was nothing to decide. But then I did meet Mr. Right. And I still tried to sort of postpone it, but then one night Mr. Wright said...
would you like Mr. Wright to take your son, or are you okay?
No,
You're okay?
He's all right. He's all right.
This is what happens when you have children later on. You've got more patience because...
and you're stronger.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Wright finally said to me, I got married and I said, well, maybe I can just continue to postpone and continue to postpone. I've been doing it for 25 years. And finally, after 1 year of marriage, Mr. Wright said to me one night, you know, we really ought to start thinking about having a family. And I turned about 14 shades of purple and sort of stuttered. And he said, well, you know, what do you think? I said, I'd like to sort of think about it a little bit. 25 years wasn't enough to think about. He says, well, fine, why don't you take a week? So I had a deadline. And during that week, I thought about it. I thought about what it was like to have children and what it would be like to not have children. And at the end of the week, I decided there was no question but that I wanted to try to have a child, which is what we did.
So how do you feel about being an older mum now?
Well, exhausting. No, it's really fun. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be a mum, and it's wonderful to be a mum anytime. I feel particularly lucky because statistically, I shouldn't have probably had these children. I think you take a risk when you have children later. So I feel particularly pleasured that I've got these little bundles.
And they're perfect in every way. I know a 47-year-old who's got a 6-year-old. Her worst fear, she says, is going to pick up her child from school, and there are sort of 20-year-old mothers picking up their children at school. Is that a prospect that you're dreading, the school run?
Well, Daddy.
Let's go for a walk. Come on, do answer for me. Are you looking forward to the school run? Oh, isn't he sweet? Oh, it makes it so broody, doesn't it? Mine's 12. Where's Daddy? Is that Daddy? I don't want to give you to a stranger. Are you Daddy?
I'm Daddy.
Okay, you're safe. Okay, so what do you think about the prospect of the school run?
First of all...
Oh, she doesn't want to let go. Do you want to stay with me then? Come on then. Oh, right. Tell me about the school run.
Well, first of all, I think women are having their children older in life. So I wasn't the only silver top at the school run. There were lots of other ones. So there were sort of 3 of us and 24... Okay. 20-year-olds.
Okay.
But I think the point about the school run is it's just a job. It's just work. It's like going into Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's and getting a sandwich. You know, and I don't worry about how many 20-year-olds there are checking out at the counter, so I don't worry about how many 20-year-olds there are on the school run.
Right. So the prospect of being, if you could do your time again, would you have a child at a younger age?
No, not me.
It fitted in well.
I would. It was just perfect. I've had my career. I've had a lot of fun at that. I've had lots of holidays. I've had lots of social life, and now I have time too.
Yes, Maria. What age were you when you first had your child?
I was 16 when I fell pregnant for Samantha, and I had her when I was 17.
Was it a planned pregnancy?
No, it wasn't.
Right.
No.
So did you face any difficulties being such a young mum?
No, not at all. In fact, I enjoy every minute of it. I think it's great, and I think the only pressure on young mums is people that run them down all the time. People are just so quick to run them down, and that is what causes problem because it puts pressure on them.
So you feel like you're being judged?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
I must say, I had a child at 17. There were several things that I found very difficult. For a start, you have to grow up immediately. You have to grow up overnight. Also, I didn't have as much patience, I think, when I was younger. And money was another thing, which we'll talk about later on. So you didn't face any of those problems?
No, I think I was quite mature for my age anyway. Like, I've sort of like always been sort of, quite mature.
Right.
And I didn't find, it wasn't a problem. It didn't worry me at all, the fact of becoming a mother.
Right.
At sort of the age of 17, I still had my boyfriend, who is my husband now. He sort of stood by me, and that's what we wanted, and that's how it went. And
so tell me all the good points about being a young mum.
Well, the age of 21, obviously, I'm full of life. I'm actually, raring to go. I mean, we walk down the street, skip down the street, run down the street. Life is just so much fun. I mean, I absolutely, just love it. I love to get in there with them, and have a good old laugh and jump around and all that. So that's one of the things.
So you don't feel that you've missed out at all on anything?
No, not at all. I mean, hopefully, I could go out tomorrow and get run over by a bus, but hopefully, sort of in the years to come, my husband and I can still do all the things. Go abroad, and all that sort of thing, and do what we want to do when they're older.
So you're saying that doesn't mean that your life stops because you have children. You can still do those things when the children have grown up?
Of course.